This is just a test. Hello, and welcome to the stream. I know nobody's watching right now, but we're ready for another stream of me playing Trainz. So that's cool. Let's switch over to here, and we can play. I mean, it's not really playing, we're just building stuff, but you catch my drift, you know? So anyway, we're going to be heading into Tophamshire, and we're just going to be editing the route. No big... We're not going to play with the trains, we're just going to be working on route decoration, which is a major part of making routes, so... If anything... let's see here. So, last I did anything, I was adding this road. I'm never a huge fan of these roads because they look like they're hovering above the ground. And I never really enjoyed that, but whatever. Straighten that out a little bit. There we go. Now I gotta figure out how to do a bridge. I know building a bridge is actually kind of easy, but just need the old search filter. Too big. Somehow that looks unrealistic. Let's see if this is any better. Oh. It's its spline point. That's not any better. That's worse. Is any good? That actually works for what I want. So I can just do this and then do a little bit of that. And then we can do this. And then so if you guys hear anything from the other room, just ignore that. Alright. That should get us to Vicchester. So as far as why I'm adding roads, I'm just adding an interconnected road system between the different towns. And it allows for a good starting point when I start adding the buildings. First thing we're going to do is deal with... Ew, why is this all bendy? That's what we could do. So we could do this. Oh, hi, Amtrak fan. Finally seeing me do some train-related content for once, you know. Just generally working on the route. How about you? Alright. Then we could do a little bit of this. Screw you. Break it up into a block. Get a little bit of grid action going. Oh. What happened? Oh, Amtrak fan 19 subscribed. Oh, thank you. I don't have a dual monitor set up, so I didn't really see the notification, but I see that you subscribed, and thank you, and hopefully I don't disappoint, you know, in the content department. I should probably add some housing, so I'm just gonna get rid of that, change the pick list to town scenery. We can probably do a little bit of this. Yeah, we can do this. And do that. Actually, what I can do is I can get this, make a parallel one over here, and then what I can do is bam. I'm just going to extend this a little bit more to the edge of the road. Bam. Then we can just... what does the thing say? Hold on, let me check the... I gotta check chat. Why am I not seeing the full thing? Hold on, I'm gonna have to switch to my phone to check chat. I see your question, Amtrak Fan 19. I just don't have a real good streaming setup. Why is it not letting me do that? Can you... Hold on, I'm going to answer your question in just a moment. View channel. Can you drive a P52 after you're done? I'm not sure if I have a Amtrak P4... What is it? P42? I don't think I have an Amtrak P42. Mostly because I over-specialized in doing British stuff, so... plus, the P52s that are actually good in Trainz are payware models, and I already blasted my, gaming budget for the month on, Trainz DLC, so, I'm gonna have to decline, sadly, but in a later stream, if you want, as a consolation, I could drive a P42 on this, so, you know, just to make things a little more fair, I guess, you know. Compromise is always good. Okay, that's one wall done. And then we can... do... No, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. And then... Alright. These fences, these terrace walls aren't exactly even, but these are also not very evenly done. So that's my cross to bear, though. So that's not like I'm going to be publicly releasing this route. This is just purely for self-entertainment purposes and generally just to have a more fitting British route to run British trains. Originally I had a Toho-themed route, and I still have it, but I just think it's really weird to have essentially have a Japanese train route and just have some weird lore explanation as to why there's British locomotives running on it as opposed to like normal Japanese ones. But I also committed to doing the gauge of the track in 4 feet 8.5 inches, which is different to the Japanese gauge, which is I think about somewhere in the vicinity of like 3 feet. These aren't gonna line up evenly, but again, I'm not worried about that. Controls. That's the road that's uneven. And I can go here. Let's see if I can fit it here. Maybe rotate this one a little bit, just to get it a little bit more. Get it to mesh well. Yeah. And then we could probably add let's see if we can add something cool like this. Hoping some of my Discord friends comes over, mostly just to see me screw around with buildings, which, you know, in hindsight probably doesn't make for a super enthralling stream. This is about as dry as my content can possibly get, but then again, it's like, you know, I think Sudrian Afra SA Music used to do Trainz route streams. The people doing the new hybrid Island of Sordor map does, that team does live streams of them just working on routes and stuff. So honestly, it's definitely within the realm of possibility that this is enthralling content, you know. It's a Galleria. Oh, it's a tunnel portal. Cool. What's this? Fuel depot. Crude oil. Oh, it's just yet another refinery thing. Here's one with one track, so that's cool. You know what? I'm gonna check something real quick, because I bought a shit ton of DLC recently, and yeah, it's not there. Let's look for shops. It's maybe too modern for what the... for what the route requires. So who wants to hear my reasonings for why I like pre-grouping railways as opposed to like the big four and like British Rail? Oh, we got another person on the stream, on the chat, Mark or Alana? Well, seeing how Mark is spelt like that, you know, now what area is Mark again? Hold on. Oh, it's the commuter rail from Maryland. Okay. Just had to double check that because I know SEMTA, I know the T. In fact, I live in Massachusetts, so I'm very familiar with the T. I know SEMTA. No, not SEMTA. What the fuck's the Chicago one? Whatever. It's just, you know. I know a whole bunch of the commuter rail lines in the United States, so. Let me make a route for USA trains. That's an interesting question. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll work on a route that's like specifically for the USA. I'm just a huge train nerd that like that over specialized in like British stuff. And the only part of American railroad history that interests me a whole lot is sort of the pre-world, like the 1930s, sort of like the silver age of the railroads in the 1930s, you know, with the streamliners and the Art Deco things. I also really love Penn Central, because I think Penn Central is super fascinating to me. Like, it's the same way, like, I like Penn Central the same way that people like Tommy Wiseau's The Room. Like Penn Central is the Tommy Wiseau, is like the Tommy Wiseau, like, it's The Room of railroads. And I just love that, you know. Like, I love me a good disaster to, you know, analyze and, you know, try to learn from, but... Oh, that's weird looking. But if I were to build an American thing, an American route, it's going to be, like, entirely a freelance design. Like, it's not going to be made in, like, any specific point in time. Well, there will be a specific point in time. Probably, like, maybe, like the middle, early diesel era. You know, 50s, 60s, and 70s. But the area is going to be completely freelance, you know. It's not going to take place in any real location in America. Just sort of a general American, you know, place. It's not to say that I don't like American stuff. It's just, you know, it doesn't capture the same way as, like, British stuff does. I also grew up watching Tom's the Tank Engine, and I think that kind of poisoned the well, so to speak, so... Yeah, you can just blame Audrey for why I'm doing this thing right now. Albeit when it comes to... Nah, I'm not gonna dwell on that. What's the... Oh, industrial building. 2 coins in a fountain. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Epidermic plastic surgeon. So one of the things I've decided to do is, I'm going to announce this in a channel update video, but why am I stuck? Oh yeah. One of the things I've decided to do is to invest in a fursuit, which, you know, is kind of weird, but, like, you know, it's just something I kind of want, and I've just decided to start investing in it. Of course, I only have $50 saved out of, like, the thousands that I need, but, you know, I've cooked up a pretty robust saving plan, financial plan for it that hopefully won't involve too many Ceausescuan austerity measures. If I know you guys in the chat are more railroad focused, but Ceausescu was the leader of communist Romania, and he was notorious late in his reign for austerity measures, which is basically when the government decides to spend as little money as possible, which, you know, can be good if it's applied well, but usually it doesn't go very well. Oh, that's why that looked weird. It was backwards. and hopefully I don't tap in too much into my fixed income for saving up, and I'll just, the stuff that I get from other things that I do will fund it, but right now that remains to be seen. Doot, doot. I wonder if I can find some cool office buildings. That's kind of lame looking. Ooh, a printer's office. That's pretty cool. I can just put that right there. Is this the same on either side? Yes, it is. How big is this building? Actually, I can probably put it right here. Probably need to rotate this building. Yep, that seems good. One of my housemates is playing the Barney theme, and hopefully that... I don't think the Barney theme is really something that would trigger the copyright bots on YouTube, but, you know, you can't be too sure these days, you know. So, one semi-important thing that I did today was that I finished my collab entry for the 79th Michael Rosen birthday collab, which is this huge YouTube poop collab that everybody does on Michael Rosen's birthday because, largely because it's just something cool that people do. But that's mostly because Michael Rosen kind of put his birthday in his famous poem, the Michael Rosen Rap, and ever since then, ever since he became a famous YTP source, that's how people celebrate his birthday. Of course, I'm also a little afraid that because of a certain plot point in the video, that PSNB, the organizer for the whole thing, I'm a little worried that he might reject it. But from what I understand, there isn't too much that's really against the collab rules, you know. Oh wow, that does look uneven. Hopefully nobody's offended by that bad the job that I did on that one. So as far as future streams go, this is largely the extent of it. I might do a live stream where I play a video game of some sort other than Trainz, but I just play Trainz and make it into a little weird live stream, largely just for shits and giggles. Nothing really much that goes into this. Actually, I'm gonna use. I kind of overused this suburban house spline, but it's also a really nifty one. You know, building hundreds of houses that I'm sure, you know, I'm sure isn't all too important because you're kind of focused on running the trains, and that's largely the extent of how things are. Can I create a zeros? I wasn't meaning to connect to that spline, but okay. I can reduce that down to there. I'm gonna delete this wall. This is low-key kind of getting in the way. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to do boop 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 boop. And then I can just shove a quick signal box. I need signal box. Does this have an interior? Oh, it does. Cool. Just gonna... Can I rotate? Yep. This is... What is this? Snoodberry. Okay. Oh, thought those are renameable. Guess I have to keep looking. Is this... So it is renameable. Okay, so I can just do... There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Oh, that's not really facing the right way now, is it? So that's probably it for buildings. Well, I mean, it's still unfinished, but... kind of want... this fit? It can. Cool. Go back to looking for office buildings. Oh, hey, Chris. Just found out you were in chat. Welcome to my Trainz live stream. If you want to ask me questions, you can. The reason I haven't really said much in the past minute or so is just largely down to concentration, you know. So I should explain this to Chris and to those in the audience who should be interested. So this is my Trainz route that I'm working on called I think Tophamshire, and it's basically a fictitious, almost Gensokyo-like place, but instead of it being a Japanese fantasy kitchen sink like Gensokyo, it's basically just, you know, it's got the whole like Gensokyo, you know, like separated from like the outside world kind of gig, except it's British, and it's mostly just an excuse for me to run pre-grouping British locomotives. And now I have to explain what pre-grouping is. So, many years ago, back when railways were a super huge thing in England, is that there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of railways that existed in England during like the Victorian era, up through the Edwardian era until like the until after World War I. And you know, it's just sort of a natural thing that came from the invention of the railways. Like, of course, you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of railway companies existing all at the same time, but during the First World War, there was a lot of organizational difficulties regarding the railways. So it was like herding cats, and when the British government took over the running of the railroads, they discovered, like, maybe the railways tend to do better when there's less competition, in the sense, because it wasn't like less competition in the sense that the railways should be less competitive. It's just there were hundreds and hundreds of railway companies in England all at the same time. Remember, Great Britain is this medium-sized island at best. And these railways were like mostly just short lines and just second-class railroads at the largest. So, for organizational reasons, it was found out that the railways could be a lot better if they were just reduced to four different railroads, and so the railways were amalgamated into 4 different countries through an act of Parliament. This being the London, Midland, and Scottish Railway, which occupied the northwest of England and into Scotland. The London North Eastern Railway, which took up the entire eastern half of the island. And And then you have the Southern Railway at the south, of course. And then you have the Great Western Railway that kind of occupied the southwest. And those railways lived in harmony for many years until World War II. And then because England was both absolutely broke, its railways were also broke, that the railways had to be nationalized. And in the lead up to the Second World War, the railways kind of prepared for a second war and made like an organization thing together where should England go to war, that like all their systems would be cross-compatible with one another. And apparently this was such a good idea that the British Railways nationalized into, for lack of a better term, British Railways, and later British Rail, but yeah. Skibbity Ohio Riz, I guess. I don't know what the young kids say these days. I'm gonna find more housing. Amy Winehouse? The fuck? Why is that a model here? How big is this? Ooh, a brewery. It's a small one. Oh, it's in parts. Okay. So anyway, going back to the pre-grouping stuff. So the pre-grouping encompasses companies like, you know, the Lancashire and Yorkshire, the London North Western Railway, the Midland Railway, the London Brighton South Coast Railway, what else? London South Western Railway, Great Central Railway, Great Northern Railway, and so on and so forth. Don't know why I feel like I need to over-explain that, but I did. Is this an industry? No, it's just blank. That's a 2D cutout, and I don't need that. Woo, what's this? So, I know I'm doing the whole Dr. Reina thing, but the fursuit I'm planning on getting is a Brennemon fursuit, and while it would be nice to think about doing live performances as Dr. Reina, the only thing that prevents me from really doing that is that I suck at memorizing lyrics, especially since I still don't like how my voice sounds, and also because I have a tendency to just pause in weird places, and which is just an affect of the autism, but it's kind of not helpful regardless, so there's that to consider. But really, it's just to exploit friends and family for shock value, Oh, he's in a fursuit. Oh, that's weird. That's degenerate. Meanwhile, I'm just doing it for self-entertainment, because really, at the end of the day, it's all about entertainment, right? You entertain yourself by doing weird shit. You entertain your friends and family by doing, unhinged things, It's all about entertainment, Like the same way Tom Green is considered entertainment, Like Eminem said in one of his songs, like something Tom Green humps a dead moose, It's all about entertainment at the end of the day. I know it's kind of a weird way to put it, but that's what it all is in the end, just entertainment. Whether it's self-entertainment or entertaining others, but that's kind of it. Also, I really want to do a cover of Jib Jab's of Our Land and Second Term. With the idea that I can use the Rainamon fursuit and my Ran Yakumo cosplay. Like, Renamon can be George Bush, and Ran Yakumo could be John Kerry. This this land is your land. This land is my land. I'm a Texas cowboy. You're a liberal wiener. I'm a great crusader. You're a Herman monster. This land will surely vote for me. Or, I'm coming back to serve a second term. I something the national election. Thanks to you, Ohio, and my dear Tamarica, I can ruin Washington. Spend 4 more years ruining Washington. Good God, he's coming back to serve a second term. We were hoping in 04 we'd get a turn. Yeah, I'm just singing off the top of my head. I still kind of suck at the whole singing thing, and I'm sorry if that sounded absolute dog shit. I'm still working on it, But the good news is I feel like my rapping's a lot better. In fact, today I just redid a song that I did. It's Mikey R for Michael Rosen's birthday, and I know he's not going to listen to it because Michael Rosen's Michael Rosen, but that's not the point. The point is to have some sort of content available for Michael Rosen's birthday, because believe it or not, the Michael Rosen birthday collab has a very bad habit of being delayed sometimes. Sometimes it comes out as intended on May 7th, but for whatever reason that fucking escapes me, some community members have a really hard time getting it out in time. Like, I know there's this one pooper that did it last year, and the collab, I shit you not, did not come out until like close to my birthday. Like, it is downright preposterous that happened. Now, should I be offended about this? No, because at the end of the day, the Michael Rosen birthday collab is fucking awesome, and it's a great celebration of everything that's great about the YouTube poop community. But at the same time, deadlines are deadlines, and if you're not confident about delivering on a deadline, then you should be able to admit to people listen, this is going to be delayed to hell and back, or just back off. I think that's what Frykio Poop, failed to really realize is, if your life is so troubled, then maybe to the point where you can't really run a YouTube poop collab to time, maybe you should move the responsibility onto someone else. I feel like starting with this year, or maybe next year, because now it's PSNB's turn to do it, that I feel like there should be a backup pooper, a backup host, just in case if the host ever punks out for whatever reason, whatever reason they have to drop out of the project, Because then there's continuity, there's somebody who's, You know, somebody that can really salvage the whole thing together. Albeit nowadays, the YTP collab is now basically at the whim of whether or not Michael Rosen's going to pass or not. Luckily, he's in pretty good health, all things considered, so that's not really a possibility, but at the same time, you know, I feel like having a contingency plan would be great. Also, I feel like it would be really out of touch and really insensitive if we had a Michael Rosen funeral collab. But, you know, that's just me. That's just me. And we're down to 2 viewers. Not that I should be keeping track, you know, it's... You know... It's cool that anybody is watching my stuff at any point, you know. That makes me happy, you know. I should throw more buildings in here. Who dis? This shit is so lonely. Shut up and take my money. Well, that's not even. Where should I put a corrugated hut? Yeah, that seems like a good place. I think that should add some needed variety. Why do I like Penn Central? So I like Penn Central largely because I think their failure is super fascinating, but I also really like their logo. I really like their logo. I really like the livery on the locomotives. I really like how, because of its failure, that Penn Central was kind of like an underdog. You know, it's the railway that was never meant to succeed, but the fact that it lasted for as long as it did without self-combusting is really impressive to me. I also like Sega for the same reasons, so, you know, again, I just have a soft spot for Penn Central, and I can't really fully explain why. I just happen to just like it, you know. Also, I'm just a really weird guy, and I think that's just largely it. I think I'll add some splines. This is... I'm just gonna double check that this isn't overlapping anything. Huh. Doot. So another thing I might experiment with future streams is playing music, but I've yet to find much in the way of good music that won't get copyright claimed. I know if I play old-ass video game music and maybe some MIDIs, you know, maybe that can do some magic. Speaking of which, I found a MIDI for the musical part of the last song in Everywhere at the End of Time, you know, stage 6, Place in the World Fades Away. I mostly looked up if there was a MIDI of that out of like morbid curiosity, and there is. I've yet to find any MIDIs from the like more droning, more like harsh sounding part of Everywhere at the End of Time, but I also have to admit that that's kind of like a hard thing to recreate using MIDIs, you know, in a music sequencer, but it is what it is. Out of curiosity, do you guys want to see me run a train or two? Because I kind of want to run a train. Not actually. I think what would be really cool would be a goods train. That's something to consider. I love having my phone up while I do the stream because there's a delay, and I think that's like, I'm not sure if that's considered latency, but it's just cool seeing how technically the live stream is happening in the past rather than, you know, the future, I guess. I don't know, I have nothing really interesting to say outside of like the odd quip or the little historical fun fact, but that's ugly. Boop. I think I'll add a hill. That should add some visual flavor. What's this? Let's look at some good trees to put up. Then I can go here. Boop, boop. We're down to one viewer. I mean, sorry if this is boring the shit out of everyone, but I have a tendency to just hyper focus and just hyper concentrate on what I need doing. So this is just something that just happens naturally. I think that'll do it. Oh, you made a custom Penn Central P42DC. Huh. Well, that's cool. Definitely has some alternate history applications. You know. Just trying to figure out how much longer I'm gonna stream for, because at some point I kind of want to like get ready to go to bed, but at the same time I also don't really have. Well, actually, I do need to be somewhere tomorrow, so. Just going to try out this PBR texture on the track. That's cool. I should have applied more thickly, but what can you do? What can you do? Looking content manager. Alright. Download station. P. Alright, I'm looking for your... So, is it in the download station, Amtrak Fan 19? Because I'm looking for it, and all I see are the, heritage... all I can see is... Where is it? So, is it listed under as, like, Penn Central P42 DC, or is it, like, listed as Amtrak, but then with the livery on the side, beside it? I'm just gonna check Penn Central. Check that way. Huh. PC? Maybe Amtrak. Man. I wish you could search by author. Jesus Christ. Filter. Payware. Penn Central 42. Search. Penn Central. I searched it, and it's not on the download station. Oh. Great. Do 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 do. Try 95. I might have spotted it. But I did find the RC4 that Amtrak borrowed, so that's cool. Try 95. No, that's not it. But I do have a P42 DC now, so it's just not a. You know what I might do? Turn this into a collaborative effort. Window capture. Oh, I can't select the content manager. Alright. A, B, C, D, E. Okay, I'm either I'm dumb as a pile of bricks, or okay, so I'm just gonna ask outright. Do you have the key? Do you have the KUID for it? Because that's what I'm gonna have to resort to get to find that particular for that particular model. Are you okay with that, Amtrak fan? I'm gonna ask in chat too, so I'm just gonna make that clear. Alright, let's see if that helps. Because again, it could also be that I just absolutely missed it, and I'm just dumb, and I'm just, you know, kind of a poo-poo head, so. There's in pick lists. Alright, I'm beginning to peter out. Ooh, cool. Alright. Sorry I wasn't able to find the thing that you made. I might actually have to call it quits here because I am super tired right now. And I gotta go do something in the morning, go somewhere in the morning, so, yeah. I'm actually gonna save and... Is today really the 25th? Alright. this is gonna be it for the stream tonight. I hope everybody who came on enjoyed themselves. I know I enjoyed myself a little bit, mostly because the most tedious thing of working in Trainz is adding adding buildings and stuff and scenery. Really, I just want to make like stations and industries and stuff and just run trains between those things, but to be quite frank, it's not always like that, you know. There's other stuff that goes into route building that I'm just not particularly fond of, but it is what it is. Thank you to all those who stuck around for the stream, and thank you for watching, I guess.